Did you do your homework? Do you have any homework? What are you wearing? What is this? What is that? Where? With who? What friends? When? Don't give me attitude. You're grounded. Hey sibs. As a teen, it may feel like you're fighting with your parents all the time. And as someone who fought with her parents a lot when I was growing up, I know exactly what you're going through. I'm going to give you some tips that will hopefully help you to prevent fights in your household and to keep the peace with your parents. So in my video on weight and puberty, I talked about your body going through puberty to change from a child's body into an adult body. What I didn't talk about is personality and mood and how those two will change. One day you are awesome, you love everybody, you love everything, and you love being mommy's little helper. Then suddenly one day you wake up and your mom's like, oh, could you just take out the trash before you go to school? And you're like, why? I'm totally going to be late. No, I can't do that now. This change in personality is a little bit extreme. This is not what you're going to be like as an adult. But while everybody learns to kind of navigate this new personality of yours and the situations that arise, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for everybody. I mean, you have to remember that parenting is the one job, probably the hardest job in the world, where there's no test, there's no exam to pass, there's no little certificate, and there's no manual on how it's done. So most of the time, your parents are doing what their parents did with them, what others have told them, what they've picked up along the way, and I mean, they're doing the best they can. So I know it's hard, and I know you don't want to hear this right now, but remember to cut them some slack sometimes. Okay, but why are they always on my case? Why do they have to know so many things and are always asking so many questions? Well, part of that is because they miss you, and they miss talking to you. When you were little, you walked around behind them all the time asking why? Why this? Why that? You went from that to, no, yeah, sure, no, what? Sometimes they just want to talk to you and they miss talking to you, and them engaging with you is a good thing. Fine, but what about when I want to go out with my friends? They ask me like a million questions before I go. I always hated this. You're about to leave and you're running late, and then they're like, oh wait, where are you going? Who are you going with? And you're like, I get it. But let's do a little thought experiment, okay? Think of your most prized possession. For example, for most of us, it's a phone or an iPod or something that you can't live without. Okay, now imagine one of your friends is like, oh hey, can I borrow your iPod? And you're like, yeah, sure. Aren't there some things you'd still like to know though about that iPod? Like for example, where it's going, why your friend needs it, who else is gonna maybe have it? When are you getting this iPod back? You are your parents' most prized possession. If they're asking you a million questions about who you're going with, where you're going, when are you coming back, where can they reach you, things like that, it's because they care about you. They want to make sure that you will return back safely, and if that doesn't happen, they know where to look. I mean, it just makes sense. Okay, fine. But sometimes they're like totally unreasonable. Like they'll just grab me for no reason. I get it. That part really sucks. I hated getting grounded. But again, parents don't get how-to manuals on how to do this. They're learning as they go. But you know what? We're learning as we go too. And because I fought a lot, I learned a lot. What not to do. Hey, so Becky's having this party. I'm going to be going. It's going to be like 30 people. I'm going to be back around 2. Okay, bye. Sorry, just a sec. What? Come back here. You're not going. Come back here. What? You're the meanest mom ever! I hate you! Oh my god! Remember that if you don't want to be treated or seen as a snarky, bratty teen with attitude, you shouldn't act like one. Approach conversations calmly and reasonably in an adult manner in order to be treated like an adult. Hey, so I'm going to be going to Becky's party tonight. I wrote down her name, her number, her address on this paper. I plan on being home around midnight. Is that okay? Okay, have fun. Preventative communication is probably your best bet on how to keep the peace at your house. What not to do. Sweetie, can you please do the dishes? I'm busy. Now, please. Oh my god, you're like ruining my life! I've slammed this door so many times growing up, I'm surprised it hasn't shattered. Like, that's glass, you know what I mean? When it comes to chores, the smartest thing you can do is to be proactive. That means sitting down with your parents when you all have time and discussing what chores need to be done, what your schedule looks like, and when it allows you to do these chores, and when you will be doing them. This means that your parents won't have to nag you, they won't be interrupting you when you least expect it, and they will know that you're getting your stuff done without having to bother you constantly. And if a situation like the one I'm acting out right now still arises, there's still better ways to handle it than screaming back at your parents. Remember, keep your cool, approach it as an adult, and try to be reasonable. Maybe you were the kind of kid who always did their homework on Friday night and nobody ever had to nag you about homework. But now all your friends want to hang out on Friday night, so that kind of screws up your plans. So now you're not doing your homework on Fridays, you're usually leaving it till Sunday night, and now it's a problem. Instead of waiting for your parent to confront you about it and inevitably make it into a fight, try maybe talking to them about it. Say, look, everybody hangs out on Fridays and I feel like a loser if I don't hang out with them. I'm going to go hang out with them on Friday, but as soon as I come home Friday night, before I go to bed, I'm going to do some homework, and then Saturday morning, I'm going to be up early in the morning and I'm going to do it, and I promise it'll be done before Sunday. I mean, if they ground you and they tell you, no, you can't go Friday nights, you have to do your homework, they're doing that because they want to make sure that you actually do your homework. Because you didn't give them a guarantee that you will be doing your homework. So if you beat them to the chase and you're like, I will be doing it on Saturday morning instead, is that okay? That's a compromise, and they're much more likely to agree with you. Some things will still be non-negotiable in your house, and that's okay. I mean, every parent has their own things that they absolutely will not compromise on. At the end of the day, it's their house and their rules, and they have to take care of you. I mean, they're legally obligated to make sure that you're safe, that you're going to school, that nothing happens to you, and that you don't die. But from my personal experience, it is always better to approach any type of topic in a compromise-like fashion than to just be yelling your demands at them. They're placing their demands on you, and it's just getting crazy. I hope you don't feel betrayed right now. I really, really love all of you, and I just want to make sure that you are being safe, that you are navigating this growing up experience in a positive way, and that you feel supported. Remember, I'm trying to give you advice that's going to make your life easier, so even though right now you're kind of like, oh, whatever, why aren't you bashing our parents together? This is so annoying. Your parents are doing the best they can to help you learn to deal with various situations where you're frustrated, where you're not getting what you want, where you have demands that maybe you can't even meet, and they're in this with you. They're on your team. They're not there to just make your life miserable. And I think it'll help you much more if you take these pieces of advice into account. Because my mom is subscribed to me, I just want to take this opportunity to say, hi Mom, thank you so much for putting up with me. Thank you for saying no to me, for making sure that I didn't grow up to be this crazy person. I'm on the right track, and that's all thanks to you and Dad. Now, my chores for you are to like, subscribe, and share. Don't roll your eyes at me. See you next week, Sibs.